In this video we will look at the very first submarines. The idea of submarines has been known since ancient times. There are suggestions that in the 4th century BC, Alexander Makedonsky used something similar to a diving bell. In this bell, he plunged underwater. Evidence of this event is preserved in paintings of a later time. In 1578, William Bourne outlined the concept of an underwater vehicle in his book Inventions or Devices. He proposed a closed ship. Only this sketch has survived. In 1620, Cornelius Drebbel, using the works of William Bourne, built a submarine from a tree covered with leather. This boat did not work with the help of a steam engine, but with the help of oars, but it was worth mentioning as one of the first submarines, and as a temporary guideline for the start of the construction of the submarine fleet. In the years 1720 to 1721, Yefim Nikonov, at the direction of Peter I, built the Model first, and then, in 1721 to 1724, the full-size submarine, secret vessel, which became the first Russian submarine. This submarine looks like a giant barrel. All 3 tests that took place on the Neva ended in failure, and after the death of Peter the inventor was exiled to Astrakhan. The photo shows a model of the hidden vessel in the city of Sestroreysk. Tests took place here, and now a monument has been erected, which is shown in the photograph. This submarine looks like a giant barrel. All 3 tests that took place on the Neva ended in failure, and after the death of Peter the inventor was exiled to Astrakhan. A harpoon is visible on the left of the submarine. It was supposed to pierce enemy ships with its help, and the bells around the perimeter of the submarine were sinkers. The first military submarine was the Turtle. This submarine was built by American engineer David Bushnell in 1776. Only the drawing has survived. Using this device, it was planned to attach explosives to enemy ships. Nautilus is the common name for 3 submarines built in 1800 to 1804 according to the designs of the American engineer Robert Fulton. Nautilus is considered to be the first practical submarine. But for military purposes, the Nautilus was unsuitable. It was too slow, and fast enemy sailboats easily dodged a submarine. Further construction of such ships was suspended, and the importance of submarines was estimated only 100 years later, during the First World War. Perhaps inspired by this ship many years later, Jules Verne will write his immortal Captain Nemo. Ictinio II is the first steam submarine, built in 1865 by the Spanish engineer Narcís Monturiol from Catalonia. There was a steam engine with 2 heat sources on the boat. A standard furnace with coal was used when the boat was floating on the surface. And to move underwater, Monturiol had to invent the first non-volatile engine based on the chemical reaction of various substances in which enough heat was generated to heat the boiler. After all, if the stove is flooded underwater, the air will quickly burn out and you will not swim far. This submarine could go underwater for 30 meters. Resurgam. In 1878, George Garrett, a British priest and inventor, built a submarine equipped with a closed-loop steam engine. Most of the time, the submarine floated on the surface, and during the attack the pipe was removed and the submarine dived underwater. This submarine could move underwater while there was enough steam in the boilers, and thus floated about 9 kilometers. Because of this, by the way, there was infernal heat inside the case. Despite the fact that the first instance of this submarine drowned, she was very interested in the Swedish industrialist Torsten Nordenfelt, who wanted to finance the construction of these submarines. Together with Garrett, they built 1 instance for Greece, 2 for Turkey and 1 for Russia. The submarine did not sail to Russia. Along the way it ran aground and the Russians refused to pay money for it. The characteristic forms of the very sharp nose of this submarine testify to the purpose of this submarine. It was created to inflict holes on enemy ships. K-class submarines, a series of English steam submarines developed in 1913. In 1918, the British Admiralty ordered 6 K-23 K-28 boats, but due to the end of World War I, they were no longer needed. However, one boat, K-26, was still completed in 1923. The boat was equipped with a steam turbine, and fuel oil served as fuel. In 1931, the boat was sold for scrap. Prior to the advent of the first U.S. nuclear submarine, 1954, the USS Nautilus, SSN 571, steam submarines were no longer built anywhere in the world. In the next video, however, one boat, K-26, was still completed in 1923. The boat was equipped with a steam turbine, and fuel oil served as fuel. In 1931, the boat was sold for scrap. We will look at more modern submarines. Thank you for watching.